Well, how we doing this Thursday afternoon? I'm out here on my front porch moving my camera stand around with my leg. That's where the bumpity bumpsy from. I've been out here yawning my ass off because this cool air makes me yawny and tired. And I should have brought my jacket outside, but I didn't. Now, tomorrow, my old lady turns 45. And I went and bought her a few things for her birthday, nothing major. I got her some little snacky shit and some junk food and a couple of things that she kind of had been hitting about, but she never really said exactly. So, I did get her a couple of things that she did hint around about. A couple more things I'm going to wait towards Christmas and get her the goodies. And, you know, the birthday's just kind of like hanging a little piece of string. You're just kind of dangling her along a little bit. Actually not me and Junior, I got a great big pot on the stove. Hard boiling a bunch of eggs so we can make a big old thing of pickled eggs and put them back on the shelf. Let me tap that just a little bit, get me more focused in center screen. Now, I thought about putting some pickled eggs in some pint jars, but the problem with that is, at most, you would get maybe 4 eggs in a pint jar. And to me, that would be a waste of a jar just to pickle, say, 4 eggs. So I'm going to go in there, I'm going to see what size, quart size. I know I got some decent sized quart jars, and I know I got some wide mouth, a lot of regular mouth, and I'm going to have to find me a couple good ones so that way I can get the eggs put in there. Now, one of the tricks that I do that are totally different than anybody else, making pickled eggs. Here's your spoon I'll use. I don't have anything. There we go. Now, say this little piece of wood is my egg. And my spoon right here, at the end of my spoon piece here, this is like a giant skewer. What I do is go from the bottom of the egg with the skewer, go all the way through the egg to the very top, bring it back down, then I go from the side part and I go across this way from side to side, then I'll turn my egg, hit the side piece and go side to side. But what I do is, the first side piece that I go through, I aim for the yolk. The second one, I go just a little bit right above the yolk and the hard white part, and I go through it. So that way, all your brine slowly creeps into the egg, and instead of having like that little bit of the outer area of the egg that's coated with the brine and everything gets absorbed inside. And now, it would take a long time to really absorb everything up inside that egg. And fortunately, I can actually tell you, I've never had one absorb that far up into it, because usually a few jars of pickled eggs, I mean, it might last us the last time I made pickled eggs in bulk, it lasted 3 months. And when I say in bulk, I made like 2 cases of pickled eggs, and in 3 months' time we ate all 2 cases. Now, that is also when Junior went to school, and the school would call me, telling me, well, actually they would call and ask, what am I feeding my child? And whatever I am feeding my child, please stop, because he is stinking up the classroom. So then after we did that, I was like, you know what? He said, well, I said, we got to make some more pickled eggs. And we did. We made a shit ton. And I'm surprised I didn't get in trouble on that one. But, you know, it is what it is. Another yawn coming up. And the reason why I'm so yawny is because I'm outside without my jacket on. And it's getting nice and cool. When I get really cool on the outside, I get sleepy and tired. I want to sleep. So that's why I'm getting kind of yawny for it. Now, most of this week has gone by fairly easy. Not too many hiccups or bumps. I should have been outside winterizing some more shit out here, getting shit ready, but I haven't. I did go this afternoon. I thought I had 2 UPS boxes. Well, you say USPS boxes, what I should say. I did have them, but it was the wrong size box. So I made the excuse of going to get some more boxes today, and so me and Junior went down the road and picked up a few more items for my wife's birthday bag and threw them aside there, and I got the correct boxes that I need. And sometime this evening, I'm gonna start on. Well, I'm gonna start on 2 vessels of my pizza bread, and because I'm gonna ship 2 lobes of it down to Brownsville, Texas. One of the lobes of it will be for tomorrow to eat on, and the second loaf of the second vessel will probably make its home with Montez and his old lady that's supposed to come by the house. So, with that being said, everything be spoken for and accounted for. In one of the boxes, I'm gonna add some side shit I make, some things that everybody that's around here, they've already had at least once or twice or 2 or 3 times, and it's like, when you first have something new, everything is great. Then after a couple of times of having it, you're just kind of like, hey, it's nice, but I'm not worried about it. So it is what it is. Now, one of the things I thought about doing as well is making a thing of cherry bread. And I know when I make the cherry bread, I know what's going to happen. Lucas is going to want some. Betty's going to want some. I don't think Montez has ever had cherry bread. I'll have to sacrifice a half a loaf to him and half a loaf around the house and make a 4th loaf of it to stick in the box and ship as well down to Brownsville, Texas. And think of the Captain Crunch berry, the red berry, in a cakey kind of bread that, but instead of being like a crunchy red berry, it's nice and soft. And it's, I don't want to use the word gooey, but it's nice and soft. Well, it's fresh cherries. Well, somewhat fresh cherries. It is a pickled cherry, is what it is. But, yeah, it's really good. But there's a few other things I'm going to dick around with and make and stuff like that. I was planning on going this Sunday, the last day of market. I'm not for sure exactly how all that shit's going to turn out. I really don't know. I couldn't tell you. I do know that I want to go. I think this evening what I'm going to do is, it's when I got making this video, I'm going to go ahead and download it. And I'll contact Everett and say, hey, are you going Sunday? And if he says, yes, I'm going Sunday, then I will go Sunday. But if he says, I don't know. If he shows me any indication that he's not going to go, I won't waste my time and go either. I'll just say, hell with it. The year's been great. We got all the money for property tax set it up, and property tax is paid for. Can't complain. It is what it is. That was one of my biggest issues is doing the market this year is, am I going to have enough to pay property tax? And as far as I can tell, I'm in the green for property tax. So worst case scenario is they might sneak a few dollars in on me here or there somewhere, get me on something, and I might have to transfer 25 to 50 bucks over to the other account to do it. But for the average most part of what my tax has been last year and the year before and everything else, I'm covered on property tax. I ain't worried about it. But I am going to work on trying to do a little more side hustle on the side. Most of this summer, my egg laying hens, they were laying, but they were just like hit and miss, and little here, little there, stuff like that. Now that it started got cooled off and kind of cold somewhat, man, they're dropping eggs like crazy. And I might have to get back on there and say, hey, you know, I got eggs for $2 a dozen. I was selling them for $4 a dozen. But if I start getting a lot more eggs than I have room for, yeah, I'll take my eggs back down to $2 a dozen versus $4. Mainly the $4 was trying to cover the feed cost. And now, every day my chickens don't get just a regular chicken feed. They get table scraps, and they get, you know, certain things around the yard like green grass wise and different little plant things, and they get tomatoes from me when they were in season. I take a bunch of raw tomatoes, not really raw, but the ones that are kind of crappy, I throw them inside the chicken coop and they devour them. And anything vegetable wise that I had that was just, it didn't fit the cut to go to a canning jar of mine, or anything that didn't make the cut to go to market, I threw them in the chicken coop. They devoured it. You know, I've said for a long time to people that's never had chickens, chickens are a two-legged pig. They will eat anything. And if you don't believe me, get a couple of chickens, take whatever food-wise you think that you're not going to eat, and they're not going to eat, stick it out, see what happens. They will devour it. I've seen a mouse run out from underneath my little container I had a long time ago. I had the chicken feed in, and he ran into the chicken coop, and I watched a chicken grab that live mouse, raise her head back, open her mouth, and she just swallowed the whole mouse in one gulp, tail and all. So, you know, it was a live mouse. It wasn't dead, it was alive. And so, yeah, you tell me. They will eat anything. I've taken food that was nasty. I'm talking nasty, nasty. I would smell it in the container and almost puke. Take it out there, put it in the chicken coop, and they would eat every little morsel. Down, it was almost like if you were licking it by tongue. Clean that thing like you would not believe. They love it. And if you can't afford a pig, well, actually, no, it's not afford. If you cannot afford to have a pig because of the smell of the pig, get some chickens. By God, they'll eat anything and everything, like I just said. And I shit you not, they will devour shit like crazy. Now, the only thing different between a chicken and a pig is, you get 3 or 4 pigs, and say if you was to kill somebody and throw them in that pig pen, them 3 to 4 pigs would devour a human body in about 15 to 20 minutes. I ain't shitting you. Now, you get a human body and you throw it in a chicken pen, they might poke your eyes out, give you a couple pecks here and there, but they ain't gonna do shit. But you throw a bunch of food inside there, man, they will tear it up. Now, I know that I shouldn't have said that you take a human body and throw it in a pig pen with 4 pigs and they'll devour it in 15, 20 minutes. But the thing of it is, it's the God's honest truth. Why do you think a long time ago when certain people would go out to certain lower parts of the states in the U.S. from more populated areas, so to say, and that they'd go down there and within a few days they'd come up missing, and people would drag the rivers and check the lakes and all that kind of shit, and nobody would ever be found again. And so there's a lot of people that are still missing. And they're like, we have no idea where they're at. Well, I do. I know where in the hell they're at. Somebody knocked somebody off, took them out to some pig pen out in the middle of nowhere, threw their ass in the pig pen, and within a couple of years to a few days, somebody else got eaten by somebody else, because when that pig got slaughtered, it became bacon or sausage. So, you know, it is what it is. And if you don't believe me, Google it. Now, I grew up with people that had all kinds of hogs and everything else. I've worked with them and everything. You know, I'm telling you right now, they are something that is, you know, world class of animals all to their own. But if you plan on knocking somebody off, make sure you find a bunch of pigs, because you ain't got to dig no holes, you ain't got to use no lime or tar. Oh, there's all kinds of things you can do to get rid of somebody. The easiest way is just find a pig farm. Now, everybody says they won't eat teeth, which, you know, it might be true. Hell, I don't know. I've never seen nobody get devoured by a pig and have anything left over. So I couldn't tell if they do or not. Of course, there's a lot of people that swear up and down, oh, pigs won't eat teeth. Well, I hate to tell you, if they'll chew up a bone, why wouldn't they eat teeth? So, I don't know. I'm just going by what a bunch of other people have said and everything else. You know, but I do know that there's been times I've seen a certain animal, fairly average size animal, dead in a pig pen, and within a couple hours of leaving and coming back, that there's a blood spot, but there ain't no animal. So, you know, how long it took them, I couldn't tell you. I have no idea, but I do know that, you know, yeah, they will devour your ass. So, the mafioso of getting rid of pigs, there's your free pointer for the day. You're welcome. But I want a pig, not mainly to get rid of the body, but I want to get a couple of pigs, or buy some fat back and some pork belly and a bunch of other shit. Eventually, when I get my smokehouse built, because I'm going to make my own bacon my own way, a ton of brown sugar smothered on top of it with a little bit of that hickory smoke or cherry smoke flavor, and you know, there's a different little flavors you can do with your meats and stuff when you're smoking it, and that's what I want to do so bad. Make my own bacon for one, and I can slice it nice and thick. This grocery store bacon shit you're getting anymore, that shit's paper thin. It's like a slice of prosciutto, and you know, you hold it to the light and you can see through it, and then on top of it, it's small cuts of it. Most of the time, it's all fat with a little bit of meat. You know, don't get me wrong, I love fat on bacon, but when it's 98% fat and 2% meat, and you're spending this money on money for bacon, and it's not even bacon, you're buying fat more or less, yeah, time for a change. So many people out there watch, like me myself, I watch a bunch of other people on YouTube, just like everybody else that makes videos, they watch other people. And I almost think sometimes certain people watch other videos that give them, it's almost like they're using that person's video to make a video, or to add to it in some degree. And I hope that nobody thinks that I'm watching other people's videos to make my own video. Now, I will acknowledge, like I think it's the Appalachian Homestead, she's down and around Knoxville, Tennessee. I watch her periodically. She did a thing, I knew it might be a couple of days old, but they were doing a thing last night about dumping wood chips, and you know, having the wood chips basically self-ignite themselves in the thing. Now, I've never heard, well, let me take this back. I have heard of it happening before, but the only way I've heard of it, of a pile of wood chips igniting themselves, is you slightly got them wet in the summertime, and they were in full sun, and the center part of the pile stayed moist and the outside part stayed nice and dry, and it had to be like a crazy humidity level, stuff like that. It's not guaranteed to work every time, but I have heard from somebody else when I was on the fire department at the time talk about it works like compost. So when you take a great big ass pile of compost that's nice and hot and you pour wood chips on top of it, especially nice and dry, that's been dried out for a while, you're running like an 80% chance of catching those wood chips on fire versus having your pile of wood chips sitting in the pile by itself. Now, I'm not saying it can't happen, but the percentage chance of it to ignite themselves that way is a lot lower versus having a great big ass hot compost pile and pouring wood chips on top of it. Because I have seen that happen at least once in my lifetime with these two eyes, and I've heard of it happening a dozen or so times with these two ears. But yeah, I mean, I watch here every so often. There's a few other people I watch, but I hate to say this because it's gonna sound so negative. But there is a couple people I watch just to call bullshit on, because it's like they make a video every day, and every day they make a video, it's, well, the government came by and kicked in my door, the government came by and killed my animals, and the government came by and they're evicting me off the property, and they're doing this and they're doing that, blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, you know, and that's another thing too, it kills me. There's a lot of people on YouTube, I'll turn my camera on a little bit. There's a lot of people on YouTube that will name their videos like, they came in and tried to rob me, or it's kind of like clickbait. They're wording it a certain way, so you're in your mind you're thinking, well, if they came on my property and they're here to do this and this and this, you want to see it. And see, that's how it was in the beginning. But anymore, I see wording like that, I'm just like scroll my little clicker going, because I have the Roku TV with YouTube on it, so I can sit in my living room while the kids on their computer, and on my great big ass TV screen I can watch YouTube. And so when I see shit like that, I'm just like click click click, just keep on scrolling, because all it is it's a clickbait to get your ass in there to watch his 5-minute to 20 or 30-minute video on everything that does not pertain, except for maybe a minute or two of the heading of the video. And yeah, I don't got time for it. You know, I try to be as personal, I try to be as positive as possible. You know, Montez, he's as black as my camera. I don't see color. I do not see color. He treats me the exact same way I treat him. Now, if he was to treat me like some piece of shit from Louisville that has a chip on his shoulder and, you know, blah, 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 you owe me this or you owe me that, and my reply would be that right there. That's what my reply would be. But if you come up to me, never met you before in my life, if you walked up to me and you know, even if you were quiet, didn't say a word, I would respect that. Or if you walked up to me and you were polite, respectful, and just being yourself, I would respect that. I'd be the same way back. But if you walked up to me with a chip on your shoulder, acting like you're a thug, yeah, I'm gonna stick my foot in your ass and send you on your way. I don't care, you know. I'm 49 years old. I don't have time. Hell, even when I was in my 20s, I didn't have time for stupid shit. Drama, stupid shit. You know, I don't see, I mean, some people, they feed off of drama. Me, myself, the only thing drama does for me is make my head hurt and give me heartburn. But other than that, that's about it. Another good yawn. I guess my body's telling my old ass to take my ass inside where it's warm and finish up what I was doing inside the house. And I know this video ain't much of a video. It ain't what it is. It ain't what some of them could be. You didn't learn nothing off of it other than pigs eat people. And chickens are two-legged pigs. And if you have a shitty ass attitude with me in public, you're getting a shitty ass attitude directed right back at you. Race has not an issue in the world to me. I don't care if you're purple, pink, blue, orange, polka dot. You know, you can be gay, you can be straight. Whatever you do with your lifestyle is your personal business, but how you act towards me is what you get in return. And it's been that way since I was probably about 25. But winterize as much as you can, get shit ready as much as you can. We had snow like 2 weeks ago. We got some snow in here, and it was weird. I mean, I had thought at the time I was going to record it, but I was just in shock that we got all this snow. Now the ground was way too warm for it to stick. There's too many things for it not to accumulate because of weather-wise. But it did snow, and I mean it looked like you had a snow machine on top of my roof blowing it out across my front yard. I mean it was like you could just see it coming down, and so for it to snow like that in about the middle of October. Now people around me on these persimmon trees been popping the seeds open. They've been showing spoons in it all over the parts of the area. And the spoon in the persimmon seed basically means you're going to be shoveling yourself out. So, and then on top of it, which I don't hold any faith in a lot of the video things, but a lot of people on I call it the dark web for YouTube. Basically it was talked about how this winter's going to be such a bad winter and everything else. I go more the old-fashioned pioneer stock kind of ways. Every plant I've had this year, whether it be a berry plant or a berry like a fruit tree, was loaded with produce and fruit. And by the old timers, that was an indicating sign that we're going to have a hard winter. And for it to snow 2 weeks ago or a week ago, and yeah, it's crazy. So we're going to have I think, now I'm not going to say we are, but I do think we're going to have a bitter ass cold winter. As far as accumulation wise, I have no clue, because I couldn't tell. I mean, if I could tell you, I couldn't tell you, because I wouldn't even know exactly. But I do know it's going to be colder than a witch's tit with a brass ring. And so get what you got to get. Stock up on whatever you think you need. I'm not here to tell you what you're supposed to get. You're a big boy or a big girl. And if you're the kind of person that somebody else has to tell you what you have to get in order to survive, yeah, you're in trouble. That's all I got to tell you. God gave you a brain for a reason. Just like the old saying, God gave you 2 ears and a mouth. 2 ears to listen and a mouth to shut up unless you're asking questions. There you go. Now, according to my wife, 2 ears is for putting earrings in, and the mouth is for listening to everybody else listen to her ramble and blamble and everything else. But I don't care. I'm starting to get kind of dry mouth, so I'm going to shut my ass up. Plus I'm getting kind of fuzzy because the sun, I cannot even see it in the horizon. I just see it on the, actually I don't see it in the sky. I see the glow from the horizon. So that right there just tells me it's going to get dark shortly. And well, just need to shut up and take my ass in the house and download this. Until next time, you know, I'll see you again. So, have a great, what's left of Thursday evening into Thursday night. Have a great Friday. Make the best of your weekend. Be as productive as possible. This weekend, I'm going to go dig root. And so that way I can have me some sassafras root for these coming months. So until then, hasta la pasta, pista, baby. And I'll see you again soon.